Okay, so here are the ingredients right now. I have a list written in the description, so if you want a list, then you should go to the description and find out. I first have onions right here. This is 1 onion chopped up. I have red bell pepper right here, 1 red bell pepper chopped up. I think that's about maybe 1/4 inch squares, and then or cubed. And then I have potato. This is 1 potato and 2 carrots. And then I have the pork here. I don't know what kind of pork this is. I think it's pork loin. I am cutting it up like cubes too, like 1/4 inch cube. And the reason why I do that is because it's really not something that's gonna be like, oh, there's big pieces of meat, you know. It's not. It's gonna be a casserole sort of. But I'm also going to add a can of garbanzo beans and a can of tomato sauce, which I don't have right now. And also I'm going to add some frozen peas. So this is the way I make menudo. In the Philippines, people would put liver in it, and it really tastes good, but I know that not everybody likes liver. You can put it in there too though if you want to, if you're not liver shy. I mean, I hear liver is really good for you. And I'm just trimming off all the fat because I don't really want that in my healthy casserole. So I'm not gonna bore you. We're gonna go to the next step after this. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is to turn my stove on to medium. And because this is my brand new pot and it's a ceramic pot, I wanna heat this up for about 5 minutes on medium heat so that when I put my oil in it, it's not going to stick. So 5 minutes from now, I'll be right back. So the reason why I want to do a video on this recipe is because I don't measure anything. I just, you know, by taste, I just know what I'm doing. So I don't measure anything. So I don't know how much oil you guys want to do. Just don't go overboard with it. And for me, it's gonna be about 1.5 tablespoons maybe, you know, as long as it just helps the bottom of the pan not get sticky or burn the garlic and the onion. So this is what I do. I just swirl it around to cover everything, and I'm gonna raise my heat up a little bit to medium high. Nothing more than that. You don't really want this to be too hot that it's burning, you know. I learned that the hard way. So here I am. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I just buy this type of garlic. You guys can chop up your garlic however you guys want to do it. I am not going to measure it. I'm just gonna show you that I'm gonna use about a teaspoon. This is a teaspoon for me. And I'm just gonna do a heaping. Look, heaping. You can't go wrong with too much garlic. Can't go wrong as long as you don't fill up your pot, of course, obviously. And then I'm going to kind of brown this a little bit. Not much. And I'm gonna move the camera a little bit more. I just needed to show you guys my ingredients, what I use. So now it's heating up a little bit. You don't really want this to be too brown. You just want to heat it up. And it's already smelling so good. So in Filipino food, Filipino recipes, you know, the easy ones that you can cook every day. You know, you can't go wrong sauteing. This is what we do. Saute garlic, onions, sometimes even add tomatoes. And it's more of a Spanish influence because we were conquered by Spain for 400 years. So that's like this is like the staple. Garlic, onions, and tomatoes. But I'm not using regular tomatoes today because we have to put the tomato sauce. So that's going to be too tomatoey if you're going to add tomatoes to your dish. So you either or. So now I'm going to add since that's already about to get brown, I'm going to add my onions, my 1 onions chopped up. As you can see, keeping it real, paper plates, paper plates and paper plate holders, the plastic kind. Just keeping it real. This is not a cooking show, a big time celebrity cooking show. It is just us in our homes making meals, and this is really easy. It's not just easy, it tastes so good, and just using very simple ingredients that you probably have in your refrigerator right now or in your pantry. Okay, so see, the garlic is now browning. And now we just want to wait until the onion is transparent. And you want to keep stirring it because you don't want to ruin your pot. I've ruined so many pots by burning them. But this pot right here is not the ideal one because the handles get hot. So I'm going to use my trusty old little pot holder. Very dirty. Keeping it real, guys. Keeping it real. See? Boom. Dirty. That I got from Daiso. Hello. I'm making menudo today. So that's the only negative about this pot, but I love this pot. This pot is really good. I'm cooking. Okay, so now that it is transparent, okay, this is the time to add, I mean, if you're going to add tomatoes, this is the time to add tomatoes. But since I am not adding any tomatoes right now, other than the tomato sauce, I'm going to add my pork in there. So the reason why I do that is because I want the pork to absorb the taste, I mean the taste, the flavor of the, oh my gosh, it smells so good already. The flavor of the onions and the garlic. So just sauteing like this does the trick. So I'm just going to wait until I'm just going to keep stirring it. You don't want to leave it just sitting there. You want to get it nice and not pink anymore. So just keep stirring it. And while I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to add just my pepper for now, okay? And again, I don't measure, so I just go. I just go like this. And as long as I see that mostly all the pork, you can always add pepper later. As long as I see the pepper is touched the pork, I know that it's already enough. And you can always add it later. But you know what? You're not gonna have to, because like all the flavors that's gonna be melded into this dish is just going to blow your mind. This is how I make it. I know there's going to be Filipinos out there that's going to say, oh, that's not how I make menudo. This is how I make it. You know why? Because it's the easiest way to make it. And it still tastes so good. And, you know, I mean, you can go really detailed with it. Like, you can add as much stuff as you want. Just like I said, the liver and... You know, sometimes people at the end, they like the sauce to be kind of thicker, but I don't. I'm fine with it. Okay. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so now that we have that, now I'm going to put my tomato sauce in. It's just one small can of tomato sauce. What is this? 4 ounces? Something like that. So I'm going to do this. Okay, and I'm gonna put some water, a little bit, just a little squirt there, so that I could get the rest of the stuff. And then that little amount of liquid will also help to add to the sauce later on. So now it is now a little bit. What do you call this? Simmering, and boy, oh boy, it smells so good already. Okay, now that I have this, okay, remember, potatoes will absorb like the saltiness of the dish, so that's why you have to, like, before you put the potatoes in, you have to kind of taste it to see if you need to add more salt, or if it got too salty, just add more potatoes. Potatoes will absorb the saltiness. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to put more saltiness into this. And another thing that I add, which is my own secret recipe, or my secret ingredient, is ta-da! Onion soup mix. I just put a little bit, and you know, maybe about 1/3 of this envelope, just to add some more flavor in there. Oh my god, it smells so good already. That's how I always keep this, guys. I always keep this ingredient in my pantry. Why? Because I add it to every single thing. Everything. Anything that's simple that I make, this adds flavor. And it tastes so good. Anything, spaghetti or pasta, if I do Alfredo or something like that. Okay, now we're simmering even more. So that's good. So now it's like we're not adding any other ingredients for now until we add all of our flavors. So that's so far it's 2 flavors. You got the pepper, you got the onion soup mix, and then I'm gonna add, because I'm Filipino, I'm gonna add my Silver Swan soy sauce. I like Silver Swan, guys. This is the best soy sauce out there. The Kikkoman, the like Japanese, is really subtle. This right here is not. This is really good. So again, I don't measure. You know, you'll probably have to put more if you have more. But look at that, guys. What is that? I'd say 2 1/4 tablespoons maybe. I just look at the color, and if it's kind of brown, I'm like, okay, that's good. So while the meat is getting tender because it's simmering, I'm adding all my flavors in it. And then the more flavors I add into it, the better the meat will taste, or the whole dish, as a matter of fact. Next ingredient, guys. I know you guys are probably gonna be like, ew, no, don't like that. Okay, that's fine if you don't like it, but I mean, if you put some of this in here, it's gonna make it taste so good. You don't have to put a lot, just a little bit, but we're talking fish sauce. Patis, that's what we call it in the Philippines, and it's fish sauce. And I'm not gonna put a lot. This is just to make it taste like menudo. So I'm just gonna put like maybe a tablespoon and a half, not a lot. Okay, you can always add later if you want to. I mean, it's just gonna make the aroma so good. And then the next ingredient is going, I know there's a lot, but I'm pretty sure you guys, especially if you're Filipino, but if you guys are not Filipino, once you got this ingredient in your cupboard, it doesn't go bad. So I have bay leaves. I'm gonna use 2 bay leaves. That's it. Put it in there, and that really makes it taste so good. And I'm gonna stir it again. So the first thing I'm gonna add in here is my potatoes and my carrots. Why? Because these are the harder ingredients. These are the ones that take longer to cook. So I'm gonna add that in. Oh my goodness, it smells so good already. Okay, but now, okay, so there's gonna be more liquid coming out of the potatoes, but there's not gonna be enough. So, guys, here's one of the tricks that my grandma showed me. If you put the rice wash, okay, so in the Philippines we wash our rice twice before we add the final water to the pot. So not the first wash, which is we call dirty. It's the second wash. The second wash has starch in it, and it thickens your sauce, but it also adds some flavor to it. So what I do when I wash my rice, I just put it in this what do you call this, pitcher, and put it in the fridge so it doesn't go bad, but it doesn't really go bad anyway. So I'm gonna add that, maybe 2 cups of that, and that's gonna be the sauce. And you're gonna find that this is better than water, just plain water for your sauce. Look, it's already so pretty. Okay, so we're still at medium high, or not medium high. Yeah, medium high. Not all the way high. It's like my setting here is high 8 and then 6 and then medium. So it's between 6 and it's on 6. Okay. So my goodness, I have to taste, see if the sauce is good. That's good. Okay, so now I'm just gonna let this boil or simmer it for about, you know guys, my magic number is 15. So what I do is every 15 minutes I would, oh sorry, that's the garbanzo beans, it's going in there right now. So boiling, simmer, anything is 15 minutes. Just, I mean, you can't go wrong. 15 minutes, set your timer to 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, I know that it's already partially cooked, like maybe 3/4 of the way cooked, and tender. So then after 15 minutes, I will put the softer vegetables, like the red bell pepper, so good, the red bell pepper, and the frozen piece, because it's already frozen, so it's not going to take long to cook. But anyway, peas are just easy to cook. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to cover this and let it simmer for 15 minutes, and I'll be back. So my clock still has 7.5 minutes, and this is already like a rumbling boil. So I guess it's only 8 minutes, depending on your, I guess, you know, if you guys have a gas burner or electric burner. This is an electric burner, so but there was still 7.5 minutes left, so maybe half of that, because also the potatoes are already starting to cook. So now I have to put my red bell peppers. By the time the red bell pepper is cooked, everything will be cooked as well. And that's gonna add some more liquid to my sauce. But as soon as I put that in there, I noticed that I probably should put a little tiny bit more water. So I'm gonna do that. This is about, I don't know, like half a cup maybe. I just don't want it to be too dry, so to speak, because I mean the sauce in this is really good. So, you know, over rice you can like pour some yummy some. So I'm going to right now cook my rice. So I'm gonna leave that on there for a minute, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my peas. Sweet pea. So I'm not gonna do a lot, maybe a couple cups of frozen peas, just a couple. You don't want it to be pea overwhelming. That's about 2 cups. See, I told you I don't measure anything. It's just a bother. I hate washing measuring cups and measuring spoons. The only time I would do that is if I'm baking a cake. So look at how beautiful your menudo is. Look at that. That is some Spanish casserole for you. Spanish Filipino. I know you guys are probably like, oh my goodness, menudo, no way, you know, because the Spanish or the Mexicans, they cook their menudos differently. This is the Filipino way. And this was derived from Spanish colonization of the Philippines. And this is really easy, and not only is it easy, you saw how much meat I put in there. It's really not a lot. This will probably, I would say, feed maybe a family of 6 for one meal. And if there's just the 2 of you, oh my gosh, this lasts us like 3 days. So yeah, that's it. I'll show you what it looks like. And what I do is I just leave this here for about 10 more minutes, you know, just to simmer. And of course I will check to see if my meat, which I'm pretty sure it's already done, just to check to see if the meat's already cooked. Not yet. So that's probably why the 7 minutes wasn't enough. But you can just let this simmer for a while. I say about another 20 minutes, and by that time it'll be ready for sure. Okay, so now I'm smelling the bottom of the pot. I hope it's not burning. No, it's not, because my fire is only at medium, like between 6 and medium. So what I'm gonna do, because I can smell that the bay leaf has already done its job, so I'm gonna take this out. This is very, very important. Do not feed this to anyone, because this is dry leaf, and if it gets stuck in someone's throat, it's not good. They will choke. So take it out before you finish cooking it, and it should be fine. Because I can already smell how much bay leaf has gone in. So I'm gonna taste it again to make sure. Very good. Okay, you know what? I can tell that it needs a little bit more pepper, so I'm gonna put some more pepper in it. Like this, and that should be perfect. The more you cook this, the easier it gets. The easier it will be. In the beginning, you might not get it right. You know, some of you're that creative and that artistic that you can. But when I started cooking this, I was kind of lost, but you know, the tips that I taught you will help you out a little bit better. And it's just got the right saltiness to it and the right amount of sauce, enough to wet everybody's rice. I'm just gonna leave it here, and I'll put it on low now, so that it will, by the time my rice is cooked, it'll be totally ready, especially the meat, because the meat takes forever. So I'm just gonna leave it in here for low and plate it out a little bit later when it's done. Here's the thing though, I'm not the only one that benefits from this whole meal. Also my worms. I keep all the scraps in here, put it in the freezer, and then maybe a day later, after it's frozen, it'll be ready for them to eat. Okie dokie, so it is now 10 minutes later, and this is done. So I turned off the stove and tasted the taste of the meat, and it's very tender. Everything is tender, the carrots, the peas, Where's my fork? See how tender that is? Tender. The meat is tender as well. That's why it's important to cut the meat really small, because it doesn't matter what meat you use. This is good for pork and chicken. Okay, so you guys can use chicken for this. Chicken breast, chicken legs, whatever, thighs, but you have to cut it in cubes as well. Actually, the chicken's really good. It's so good. I can't wait until the rice is made, the rice is done. While it was cooking, I was cleaning up my kitchen. By the time it's cooked, the kitchen is clean. All I have to put away is the dishes that I ate, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. So this is how I make perfect rice. I use the Jasmine. Jasmine rice is the best rice for me. It smells so good and it tastes so good. But you need to get this kind, the Mahatma one. Don't get the Taiwan or anything that like has Chinese writing on it, because they kind of have like a bad reputation because some people think that they make it out of plastic. So here I have in my rice cooker right here, I just put whatever, you know, I didn't measure. Again, I didn't measure. So the first wash, okay, so I'm just going to put some water in it to cover it, and I'm going to stir it around, just get all the dirt. That's what I call, it's what they call the dirt. So that's kind of cloudy, you see. So I'll just pour that out, and I'm gonna get my container that has the rice wash for my future cooking. My little pitcher right here. So I'm gonna wash. So I'm gonna put as much water as I want to kind of fill up this pitcher, so I have enough soup or casserole liquid. So I'm just kind of washing it like this again. So this is the second wash. I'm going to pour it into my pitcher. Okay. So I know that whoever watched the new Jokoy comedy show that he has, the new one, trying to teach people how to make rice. I disagree, because it's not the way it is. This is how you make rice, perfect rice. So I have this, I kind of put it on like a flat surface so that the rice would balance, or would be even like this. Then you take your finger, your middle finger, you stick it all the way down to the bottom of the pot. Okay? Then you take your thumb, go where you feel the rice, the top of the rice is, and mark that spot with your finger. I mean with your other finger. So here I have this much rice from the top of the rice to the bottom of the pot. So I'm going to keep my finger there. I'm going to straighten it back out. Now I'm going to take the tip of this finger and go on top of the rice. And I feel it. Okay. Alright, now it's telling me I need, so now it's like right here. The water is right here. Like right here. So now you have to top it off until it reaches that part of your nail. So I'm going to go down and then up the top. I'm going to add some little bit more water, not a lot. If you accidentally put too much water, you can always spill it out. And that's all there is to it. That's how you make perfect rice, guys. So, okay, caveat, white rice. That's what we use. So I've done it with your regular brown rice and it worked. So I don't know any other kind of rice, like the sticky ones or the basmati or whatever. I don't know how those things work, but this is how we use this is our procedure in the Philippines, and it works like a charm every single time. So now I'm ready to put it into my rice cooker inside there and pop that button down and just wait until it pops back up, and then it's done. Okay, so it's all done. The rice is done, the food is done. So I'm just gonna take some rice here. Got the perfect rice you got, and I'm only gonna get 2 scoops of it because portion control. And a little bit of this. Look at that. Maybe a little bit more sauce to it. There you go. I bet all this is only like 250 calories because it's homemade, number one, and it's really good, very healthy. Good luck, guys. Look at me. I'm gonna eat now. Bye.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button because I'm going to have more Filipino food or whatever else I cook for you guys. So it's not so boring now all the time. Succulents, but we will still have succulents. So watch out for that in a couple of days or maybe after this. Thank you guys. Love you. XOXO. Bye.